Welcome back, everyone, to another LEGO Star Wars video, and I think by now we all know in 2023, LEGO released a Coruscant Guard Republic gunship, and that set was met with a couple different levels of controversy. One just being, kind of the dumbification of it, kind of the smaller scale, missing some play features, missing some other stuff, of course, the minifigure controversy, but also on the flip side of that, another one that had a very vocal kind of point throughout the year was the fact that it was a Coruscant Guard color scheme and not a regular gunship that, we did not have for 10 years prior. That was another pretty big kind of complaint and a criticism. A lot of people wish it was just a regular one, and really with the set we got, there's really no way to make it a regular one. It's going to cost you 50-60 bucks extra just to replace the predominantly 95% dark red gunship to make it white and regular color. So that right there is kind of the preface for this video, because I have a theory as to when we might actually be seeing another Republic gunship, and it's sooner than you might think. So really quickly before we get into that theory, I have a couple very quick things. First off, if you guys do want to get that new AAT Polybag, the only two spots as of right now that I know where it's available is barnesandnoble.com. It's the regular $5 retail. The only problem over there is, to get like free shipping, it's like $50 or more you got to spend. And, I tried to only order one of them and it was like charging me like 11 bucks for shipping. But so if you guys don't want to order online though and have to mess with shipping charges, it seems like most people's bricks and minifigs locations should actually have that polybag in their store. Of course, at that point, it is going to be like $7 retail instead of $5. But either way, you're getting it in hand, not worrying about shipping cost. It's probably worth that extra $2 for you. So if you do want that polybag, there's where to find it at the moment. Second up, there was actually a new Sonic Brickhead leak today, which all I want to bring up with this, it's a Shadow and Knuckles 2-pack. The second I saw Shadow, do those eyes not look like a Grand Admiral Thrawn, possible, Brickhead eyes? Of course, nothing about a Brickhead this year of Thrawn. I know nothing, kind of privately, nothing publicly, of course. But all I can say is if LEGO were to ever do a Grand Admiral Thrawn Brickhead, I definitely see them using those eyes that they have on Shadow right now. All right, so with those two things knocked out of the way, I do want to actually show you guys a quick 1-minute clip from a designer interview that David did, Solid Bricks, to kind of preface where this theory kind of starts from. So here that is now.
I guess after the successful pilot tests in the UK of recoloring certain sets, in the past year we've gotten some more recolored sets like the Crater Parrot, and I think next year we're getting the Spider-Man car. I'm kind of curious that, obviously without spoiling anything about future stuff, are sets like, for example, the gunship now being designed with the potential of, well, maybe if LEGO decides down the line, if this is popular, could we recolor it to a regular version in the future? Is that being taken into consideration, or are those things like what has been demonstrated that you can recolor this more like happy accidents where it just happens to work out?
Well, there's of course the potential to make a standard gunship here, and it's something, again, we can't talk about
Of course,
future, but again, we've also in the past done several actually Jedi Starfighters for different pilots and so on. So of course it's an opportunity, but how do you say, saying that, hey, we have a plan of doing this,
of course.
I can't say that, but we are totally aware, of course. But again, here with the gunship, for instance, we just saw an opportunity to try something new, and we want to bring out something never seen before.
Makes sense. Thank you.
All right, so that right there, of course, was a little question asked by Duck Bricks to the LEGO Star Wars design team, and of course, they kind of gave a relatively half-ass answer. Of course, you can't really blame them. They can't just bluntly say when the next gunship's coming out. But basically, what I kind of got from that video and what I'll kind of bring forward into the theory is they acknowledge the fact there's other gunship designs. They acknowledge the fact that at one point they had different vehicles of the same type, Jedi Starfighters in different colorways. And then the third thing is presumably they just did that gunship because it's something different. All right, and here's where we start getting into the theory. First off, I've been under the assumption all of 2023 that LEGO conceptually did not want to do the Coruscant Guard gunship, but they might have wanted to do a different style gunship, and Disney kind of came back and came with the fact of, hey, do a Coruscant Guard gunship, get this out, because LEGO was not the only toy company in 2023 to make a Coruscant Guard gunship. And I got to be honest with you, I think we all know with the short amount of screen time the Coruscant Guard gunship has, and just the fact that, let alone that little screen time, it's not like it was in just, media last year. Like it showed up in a Clone Wars episode from 7 years ago at this point, 8 years ago. So it's definitely not anything too relevant, and definitely not something when you think about, 20 years of Clone Wars for really either of the shows, let alone the fact it's technically from the 03 series, where if they wanted to do something different, you would assume they would have done maybe a Munilus 10 gunship. I'm under the strong assumption that LEGO might have went to Disney with a different gunship design, whether it was regular or maybe even Munilist. And then Disney, for some reason, came back and said, hey, look, all these toy companies, the couple different brands we work with, have got to make Coruscant Guard gunships this year for whatever reason to kind of keep it consistent. Because then that leads into the fact we take a look at the 2024 retirement list, which I do have a full video on that yesterday on my channel. There are 30 sets retiring, but one of those sets is the Coruscant Guard gunship. So that means that set would only have about a year and 4 months on the shelf. And that is like unheard of. This is a very, this is a larger play set. Of course, clones are very in. I think we can all acknowledge that, LEGO does realize kind of the clone fandom right now is heavy, and they're definitely capitalizing on it. So you would assume that's kind of weird that they're just, retiring that Coruscant Guard gunship kind of so soon. I mean, that is very quick. Basically what I'm getting at here, we take a look at the ATTE though, okay, which is the other, kind of flagship clone play set on the market right now for clone troopers. That is the same price point, came out the summer beforehand, and that is on the 2025 retirement list, okay? So that's going to be 3.5 years on the shelf, unlike the gunship not even making it to 1.5 years. All right, so getting into the actual theory part of it, so the ATTE, of course, is a regular version of it. There's no different, color, difference on it. There's no Legion-specific markings on it, and it's very army buildable. You're able to buy 5 or 6 of them, and sure, you get, multiple Commander Codys, but for the most part, you can buy 5 or 6 and really have no complaints there. So getting into the gunship side of it, I'm starting to think that possibly Disney made them do the Coruscant Guard gunship, for 2023 for whatever reasonings, and LEGO themselves is making the kind of decision to retire it very, very soon, because a year and 4 months for that set just does not feel right whatsoever. So if they retire it at the end of 2024, does that mean in 2025, could they possibly be bringing out a different gunship that quick? And it was kind of a theory that a lot of us have had, throughout the year. Them doing a Coruscant Guard gunship definitely kind of opens the doors for them to do more stuff like this. I mean, does it mean we're going to get a Plos Bros gunship? Does it mean we're going to get, really any other Legion gunship that is marking specific? All right. I mean, I'm a fan of that, and I think some of us are. But what I really think a lot of fans are kind of missing out on, and especially kind of the newer generation of people that started collecting in the past couple of years, is that plain white gunship. And 2025 is the 20th anniversary, or the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Gunships aren't really too prominent in that movie, and really the only time we see them is with 212, which is already in the ATTE. But the thing is, I just find it strange, okay, that the ATTE is outlasting the gunship. And the fact that, every other time in history, it's been a regular gunship, a regular ATTE. So I'm starting to think possibly 2025, are we going to get a regular gunship, get the Coruscant Guard one out of there, meet Disney's quota, and then 2025 regular gunship and regular ATTE, at least for a 1 year, slot of 2025. Then the regular gunship might outlast it and go until 2027, 2028, and kind of be that, regular gunship for all the new modern clone people and, LEGO Star Wars fans. So that's kind of my theory there, okay? Because I'm just starting to think, all this being said, I mean, with all these kind of connections being made, I just personally think that LEGO wants to get this Coruscant Guard gunship out of here and, to be able to come out with a different style, okay? And if I had to put money on it, I think the most sense would be, you give us kind of a colorized one now, you bring out a white one, you put the white one out for a couple years, and then if they really do want to kind of keep a gunship always on the shelves, maybe at that point you bring out a Munilist 10, in 2029 or whatever. But I would love to kind of hear your thoughts on this. Yesterday when I made that retirement video, there were like 5 or 6 of you guys that commented that, and it really made me kind of think about it and kind of why I wanted to make this video today, just to kind of start discussion. I really am starting to think, I mean, LEGO acknowledges, of course, there's other gunships. They did multiple starfighters at the same time. Do I think they're going to have multiple gunships on the shelf at the same time? I doubt that. I think, at $140 a piece, that's definitely kind of a tall ask, but I am under the assumption, man, they're getting this Coruscant Guard gunship out of here to possibly bring another one on the shelf. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys, and stay safe.